Man, guys, they're dropping the ball a little bit with Battlefield 6 here. It's starting to look like old dice on a few things. Not everything's bad, but again, today something else happened that just adds on to the poor update. Remember that tournament that I've been hyping up for about a month now in every single video? The Elite Series Battlefield 6 $650,000 tournament. That was supposed to start today, except 30 minutes before the tournament was supposed to start, we get a Discord ping, and the tournament is postponed until further notice, likely until early next year. This was super confusing to all of us because as the North American players, our tournament started the latest. Europe was already playing, and the OCE tournament apparently had catastrophic issues. Gonna be going over all this stuff and just where Battlefield 6 is right now. So if you enjoy the channel, hit the sub button, hit the like button, and swing by the stream. I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders. So yeah, no Battlefield 6 crazy tournament. It is postponed until further notice. They really haven't given us a date, but they did say we will update you in the new year, which of course means the tournament isn't happening anytime soon. It will be happening probably, I'd say earliest mid-January, probably February. And I really feel bad for the people that have, a job other than content creation, because these people took PTO for this tournament, and then the day of the tournament, it just ends up, wasting those PTO hours or those PTO days. And, that's really unfortunate. And then I even saw on Twitter, Face Dirty left his wife early in Costa Rica for no reason because he had to play in this tournament, and it got delayed. So, God. Now, as for the reasons why the tournament got delayed, apparently there was just a bunch of really bad things that you don't want happening in a big money tournament. People were having trouble dropping into the game. So, you know how Red Sec starts and there's a helicopter and you drop into the battle? Yeah, people couldn't drop. Entire lobbies were actually disconnecting. So, of course, you can't have that in a tournament because it just gets rid of the whole standing of the lobby and the points can't be recorded. And, of course, they can't restart the game from the point where it was. But you know what I want to know? Whose genius idea was it to update the game one day before this tournament? I mean, I guess in their mind, it's like, okay, ideally, we push this update, everything goes smoothly, and then the tournament is just better off. But in reality, I think everyone saw this coming. We even joked, my teammates and I, we saw the December 9th update, and then we knew the tournament was one day after, and immediately we were all just like, well, I wonder what they're going to break in this update. Oh, yeah, I'm sure this won't have an effect on the tournament. Yeah, Unfortunately, we were right to joke about that. But both of these events are simply DICE and EA dropping the ball. I will give credit where credit is due. They did take full responsibility, but let's be honest, whose fault would it be other than EA's and DICE's? Of course they're going to take responsibility. There is a silver lining with this. The tournament will eventually happen, and I assume, hopefully, there will be some rule changes made. For those of you that aren't aware, if you haven't watched any of the lead-up tournaments, the meta in Battlefield Red Sec tournaments right now is to basically run 2 to 3 recon players, and you just spam thermal vision recon drones off cooldown so you have permanent information. And those of you that have played any level of Battle Royale can probably guess how fun that is to play against, and the answer is not very fun at all. So as a result of this tournament getting delayed and postponed and all that, I would love to see some rule changes. I would just love to see some overall game polish. And I think the game in general will just be better off. But then there's the issue of the super important things that we have yet to have really detailed explanations for. People are still pushing for the server browser, which is a bit of a futile effort. But again, people are still doing that. Vehicles go largely unaddressed. Silk laughs every single time he gets in a jet because a lot of the jet meta is actually bug abusing because there really isn't a very good way to survive. I've seen him fly into the flight ceiling to abuse that invincibility bug many, many times in jets. So it's obvious the vehicles need to be addressed, and of course people are still concerned about visibility and hit reg and the maps. I've seen some people do a 180 on Battlefield 6's maps saying initially they liked them, but now they really don't. And then there's the question of when are we going to get the next Battlefield season, and is this going to be basically a long period of downtime for Battlefield 6? Because, of course, the holidays are coming up, right? Christmas is right around the corner, and I expect they're not going to be working through those days, so we're probably going to see a very large period of downtime here for Battlefield 6 where nothing happens. And that isn't good, because as I covered in yesterday's video, the update has come out and introduced stuttering, which, yes, there is a temporary fix for. If you don't know what the temporary fix is, if you're on Steam, you basically just appear offline on Steam, and that apparently has some sort of effect. But stuttering was introduced. Audio got better, but I have to be honest, I played a little bit more today, and I still feel as though vertical audio is quite confusing. It's like you hear it, but you can't necessarily place it or discern it from other audible sounds, right? Like if a guy's to your left, but you also hear somebody that's above you, you're not going to be able to really tell, from my experience, where each of those players are very clearly. Another funny thing that happened with this update is people were celebrating the fact that they nerfed some aspect of the movement, but lo and behold, the movement nerf was actually unintended and it was a bug, and Reddit was celebrating that the movement was nerfed, and now that they figured out that the movement isn't actually nerfed, they are on complete and total meltdown mode, and, you know, I love to see it. So a really rough couple days here for Battlefield 6, the roughest yet, dare I say. One thing I want to point out with the whole Battlefield delaying the tournament thing, obviously delaying a big tournament like this when it's $1.3 million total looks really bad when it comes to any sort of serious competition, when it comes to org interest, when it comes to player interest. There's no question what happened here is completely unacceptable, regardless of if they took responsibility for it. All we can hope is that they hammer out the issues and we can actually get the tournament underway. But there are also some very large question marks just for the base game of Battlefield 6 as well. People have been bringing up, oh, the player count's starting to drop off, and oh my god, oh, the Twitch viewership and all this sort of stuff. And I get it. You know, Battlefield has never been a game, in my experience, that has held on to massive player base or massive viewership for very long. There's always going to be that release hype, and then it will heavily drop off. And you can say that for, well, pretty much every game. But the people already calling Battlefield 6 dead, I just don't even know where to begin with that. Like, okay. Like, come on, guys. Let's return back to reality slightly. Not even I, the apparent #1 Battlefield hater, will call this game dead. I think you just have to be delusional. But the past few days, I think it's safe to say that these are probably the worst days Battlefield 6 has had so far. And I don't think that's a reach. And it was completely avoidable, which is a very, very important thing to understand. It didn't have to be like this. The tournament didn't really have to be delayed. This update didn't have to be rocky and introduce a bunch of issues. They could have smoothed things over, but, you know, I don't know why. Something internally happened, or just the way they handle things. Shit like this happens with DICE and EA, and it's been going on for way longer than Battlefield 6, and it's starting to seep into this game. So let me know in the comments what you think about all this stuff. Thank you guys again so much for watching. If you enjoyed the channel, hit the sub button, hit the like button, and swing by the streams. I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders. First link in the description. Hope to see you guys there.